Hello, this is a short video presentation on solving literal equations. Basically, a literal equation means solving an equation for a particular variable. These will have multiple variables and sometimes numbers. Alright, so let's start. We have A equals LWH and we want to solve for W. Now, if I had 8 equals 4x, and I wanted to solve for x, I would divide by 4, the coefficient, because 4 is multiplied by x. Well, here I have two numbers multiplied by w. I'm going to divide by those two numbers, LH, LH. The L's cancel, the H's cancel, and I'm left with W equals A over LH. It's important when you're in physics and chemistry, engineering, even computer programming, that we keep our variables straight. If you're given a variable with a capital letter, it's always with a capital. Lowercase with a lowercase. Don't switch it around. All right. Here's an equation. Perimeter equals twice the length plus twice the width. This is an equation for the perimeter of a rectangle. All right. If I gave you 8 equals 2 plus 2w, and I ask you to solve for w, first thing you would do is subtract 2. Well, I want to solve for w. The first thing I'm going to do is subtract this number right here. All right? Instead of subtracting 2, I'm going to subtract a product, but it's still a number. Well, I'm going to subtract 2L minus 2L. And when I did that over here, I'd get 8 minus 2 equals 2W. But I know what 8 minus 2 is, so I'd write 6. Here, I don't know, these cancel. I don't know what P minus 2L is, so I leave it as P minus 2L equals 2W. Then I divide by 2 here. And since I know what 6 divided by 2 is, I'd write it. Well, over here, I divide by 2. But I don't know what this quotient is, what this result is, so I just leave it as P minus 2L over 2 equals W. All right? It's actually easier because we don't have to do the arithmetic. Here I had to scratch my head and say 8 minus 2. I mean, what is it? What is it? Here I just left it as P minus 2L. And then when I divide it, 6 divided by 2, scratch my head. What is it? What is that result? I don't worry about what it is here. I just leave it with the variables. All right, let's look at one more. This is an equation that you will deal with next year in chemistry. I don't know what any of this stuff stands for, because chemistry is a long, long time ago for me. But this is the ideal gas law. Ideal gas law. And you'll learn about that, I'm quite sure, in chemistry. All right, I want to solve for P. Right here, this is a P. P stands for pressure. Just like we've been doing the last few days, we want to get rid of the fraction. Kill the fraction. Common denominator, least common denominator, is P. We multiply both sides by P. We got rid of the fraction. PV equals nRT. Now, I want to solve for P. I want to get P by itself. I want to get rid of the V. Divide by V, which is volume. Those cancel, and we get P equals nRT over V. All right. I think that was quite simple. Nothing too complicated about this other than it looks complicated. We will be revisiting literal equations several times throughout the year. Every time we learn something new, whether it's about square roots or quadratics or factoring, which you don't know what that is, we will add to the complexity of these type of equations. It's really important when you get to chemistry and physics next year, chemistry next year, physics the following year, you need to be able to solve literal equations. All right, I hope this made sense. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day, and remember, above all else, England is my city.